Here is a hard drive from 1987. It is a Plus hard card 40. Now that is not 40 gigabytes, that is 40 megabytes. This hard drive was in production from 1987 to 1989, and you would have found this in a lot of actual products, telecom, computers. Now as you can see, it is long. This would have went into the back slot, typically where a card would be in today's computers. This part would have plugged directly into the motherboard. And here, I imagine, is the Platters. Now, I'm not sure. I will post images on my website of each chip, just for those people that are interested in the chip part. Surprising, with all my scrapping videos, I'm actually surprised at the number of people that ask me about the chip numbers and things like that that typically most scrappers don't pay attention to. Myself, I think there is beauty in all electronics. I have a difficult time scrapping them if they are still useful. Now, as far as this one goes, I bought this on eBay for more than I would ever get for scrapping it. But I just had to get it. I've never had the opportunity to take apart such an old piece of hardware. Not so much the age, it's just not very common in my area. And I was told by the seller that it does not work. So now you will see with this, there are a ton of chips, resistors, monolithic ceramic capacitors. Flip that around, it looks like it's printed the other way. Just a really, really neat piece of history. Now this chip is removable, which I will be taking out and keeping. But I am pretty excited to actually check out and look inside of this thing. It actually the plastic cover was just glued on there. What's cool about this, it's got a plastic backing on it. Now what I'm thinking is in the inside of this is that here's the logic board over here. Typically on most hard drives they have it here, but I'm going to imagine that they didn't have other neodymium magnets, nor the proper motors that we have in today's. Oh, this is cool. This is really cool. So you got your I'm gonna have to take some pictures. I wasn't going to do a video with much photography in this, and I was just going to do it, but it looks like I'm going to have to take some pictures before I even start playing around with this, because I've only got one. So instead of like the read-write arms that bounce back and forth, this whole mechanism slides back and forth. I just can't seem to get it to actually do it. That's probably what the problem is. There's this like piece of glass right here. I don't know if it's glass or, but it seems to have metal. I took some pictures of it. It is see-through, and it's got some type of engraving material on it. Sorry if you can hear me breathing overly loud. I'm very close to the video camera right now. I don't want to take this frame off quite yet if I don't need to, because it does hold it pretty well together. Now I'm going to see if I can pop this plastic off without it hitting my camera. Get an idea. That is just... Well, I was really hoping not to wreck that, but oh well. Don't matter now. Well, that plastic was there. So obviously this is cast aluminum, just like, pretty well like our hard drives of today. Now this is different. Here's typically where the motor would be much smaller. Interesting. Here's a there's a chip right there. Now I can see normally this logic board would have tabs that go right through and attach directly. Now it's on a cable. Yeah. Oh, that's cool. Okay, so this little latch undoes the ribbon. Here's definitely the magnet. I have no idea what kind of magnet that is. It's got like white coating. Now let's see how strong it is. No, it's not neodymium. This is obviously, look at the size of that though. Like a neodymium would typically be maybe that big right there. It's pretty amazing. Oh, there we go. Oh, shoot. So let's see, this whole actuator moves. And that's why it would have been really loud in comparison with hard drives of today. Now this actuator is like so much smaller now. I still don't know what this down here actually works. Well, that's just neat. Now if you can see, that sandwich is down, that goes down on the bottom. There's one on that second platter and one down on the underneath. So this actuator actually has 4 arms on it. And instead of having metallic tips on it, it's got actually like these plastic tips that go on there. Now I don't think this is actually gold. I think these are I don't know what type of metal they used. It's definitely not palladium or platinum. I guess I have to start taking this stuff off. I didn't really want to do that, but I don't think there's any other way. That's actually cool. So I just took off this plastic cover, and underneath it, it's got where all the ribbons connect. Now, I don't know if I'm going to be able to, yeah. I think that those would be gold plated pins, but they don't look like it. They look like they're brass. These pins actually pop off very easy. So, now you can see in here. Well, now you can see. What was getting me on these platters is this is a left-hand thread. So an aluminum cap, just like a typical drive. Now here's these platters. Now They almost look copper. It could be gold. Very, very thin, just like anything we've come across. Now another aluminum spacer. There's the other platter. They're a lot lighter. They're aluminum, definitely. Wow, oh, look at that scratch. That was for me. They're definitely light, so I don't think they're glass. But this motor actually, it's got a lot more weight than like. Wow. Oh, shit. Well, as much as I didn't want to, I'm going to anyways here. Sacrifice the ribbon. There we go. Put the other part aside for now. This reminds me of actually like a VCR, the motor. I'm gonna open that up and actually check everything out. Oh, shoot. And there's the reason for all the weight. This whole freaking thing spins. Like, one thing I didn't want to do is crack open. There we go. And there is the motor that drove this. So there's magnets all the way around, and pretty neat. This actuator is just massive in comparison with a new hard drive. So here's the whole actuator. Completely different from modern hard drives. Now I see what these little lines are for. They reflect light that is emitted by, I don't know if it's an LED. But we'll get down to it. As you can see on this, the LED or whatever it is, that diode shines light, hits the mirror, not neat. Hits mirror, and then when the actuator's lines, this sensor right here would see how many times that would swing by. Now there's gold traces all right in here. Definitely gold traces. That is neat. And like I was saying, these magnets are so much bigger than the modern day magnets found in most modern hard drives. Still neat, but not as interesting. So what we're left is with this. I am 99.9% positive that this is going to be brass, and I will pop that off in a second. So there's my teardown on a really old hard drive. 1987.